Michael, the coffee's almost done. Michael?
Maybe I'm Michael.
Hey guys, it's Bob West, and today I'm bringing you part 13 of this epic roller coaster experience. Today we'll be combing through the events of season 14. Last season ended with the entirely not at all predictable Michael takeover, and this season picks up with the, Michael taken over. I'll be real with y'all, my brain is not firing on all cylinders today. But anyway, yeah, Dean is Michael, or Michael is Dean. I don't know, you know what I'm talking about. While Sam, Ketch, and the other hunters try and track Michael down to find Dean, Castiel is working his own leads.
I was surprised you wanted to meet here.
I'm surprised you wanted to meet at all. Didn't think that you consorted with my kind.
Yes, well, I need information.
Of course you do.
Does any demon know where Dean Winchester is?
I'm sorry, did you just say that you lost to Winchester? Because one, that's interesting. And two, how is it that you lost Dean? I thought the two of you were joined at the... everything. Thank you, darling.
Michael continues to waltz around dicking with monsters while Cass gets sidelined in the mission to try to capture him. Jack, also sidelined, is starting to lose his mind, being powerless and Michael being on the loose. He terrifies Cass a little by making the "we need to stop Michael at any cost" argument and finishing it up with a "Dean would want it that way," which is the worst because Cass absolutely knows that is true and does not wish to hear it.
So they're gonna try and kill him?
No. No, the plan is to subdue him using angel cuffs and spell work. We have to get Michael out of Dean.
And if he doesn't leave?
Then they'll try to drive him out.
And if that doesn't work?
Jack.
Cass, Michael has to be stopped.
I know, and he will be. After Dean
No,
is...
Dean doesn't matter. You're also focused on trying to save Dean. And I get it, I understand, but if he can't be saved, if it comes down to him or Michael, Michael has to be stopped. Caged or killed.
And if that means that Dean dies too?
Then Dean dies. I know this Michael. I've seen what he's done to an entire world, and so have you. If stopping that from happening here means that Dean has to die, then... do you think he'd want it any other way?
Then, of course, Michael spit Dean out for the moment, and we get a nice reunion between them. The sincerity and relief in both of their expressions as their eyes meet is just beautiful.
Is it really you?
Yeah. Dean.
Yes.
Sorry I wanted to be there, but we feared that Michael would sense my presence, so...
Sam told me. Ain't no thing.
Dean asks Cass to read his mind and figure out what hurt Michael. Cass doesn't want to hurt Dean like that, but he reluctantly agrees because he'll do just about anything that Dean asks of him. They're separated for a few episodes. Cass returns when Jack is sick. Cue the worried parent dance and the grieving parent dance. They sort of rely on each other through this for a bit, and then they sort of try to be strong with and for each other, leading directly into Cass trying to fight the empty for Jack and bargaining up his own life to do so. Timelines with filming are fuzzy. Knowing how far in advance of filming they get scripts, etc., etc. I feel like I recall some interview or something where Misha said he knew the confession was coming for like about a year before they filmed it. It's unclear if that year puts them right before or after this episode was scripted. I'd be interested to know if Misha knew that this deal ended in him saying I love you and dying or not. I'd also like to know if the writers knew at the time of writing this episode. We'll talk more about this when the deal comes back to screw everybody. Jack feels bad that Cass made the deal, but Cass tries to comfort him. Sort of. Cass talks to Jack about not being happy, which is fucking rough, man. I know you care about me, but don't worry. I'm miserable and will remain that way. Alright, moving on. As they disperse to try to hunt down and skewer Michael, Dean is bordering on giddy, which does not go unnoticed by Cass, though it does not come without guilt on his part.
You seem good lately. Happy even. We have a broken tape deck. We drove this whole way without music, and you did not complain once.
You know, I guess I'm just fired up. I mean, look, we got Jack back. When was the last time we had a big, no-strings-attached win like that?
But now we have Michael.
I know.
And Dean. We're taking a big risk going after the spear like this.
I know we are. Listen to me. Michael conned me, get me trapped and drowning inside my own body. Now, when you and Sam were possessed by Lucifer, I thought I understood, but I didn't. Not really. So yeah, if we get a chance to trap him, I'll take that. But I won't be truly happy until he is dead, and I kill him.
And now I have a chance to do that. So yeah, I'm good. Let's go.
Dean is rearing to take down Michael, which, doesn't give Cass a warm and fuzzy feeling, but he is on board with it. Kaya threatens Dean, and Cass does not like Dean telling Kaya she might as well kill him. I can't tell you how much I love these four gearing up to go fight Michael, all in their element, and odds entirely stacked against them. It's just a great moment. But again, as usual, things do not go, good in any way, shape, or form. Dean's been eaten by an archangel again. Cass could do nothing but watch this whole thing happen. And then by his and Sam's combined efforts, they sort of restrain Michael for transport by their lovely Reaper sidekick. Also, I guess we've forgotten that angels can see Reapers. I mean, Michael can here, but Cass? Oh, whatever. They get in Dean's head, trying to get him to take back control. They're wading through his memories, leafing through his crap ton of bad memories and tiny handful of contented ones. They find the fake and snap into the bar and then proceed to try and convince Dean that this isn't real. Cass is the one that sort of manages to get Dean most of the way to realizing this is a dream, opening the door enough for Sam to say Poughkeepsie and break the illusion once and for all.
No. No. Guys, this is my life. This is the dream.
No, it's not. It's just a dream. Dean, that's all it is. Please, you have to try to remember, because the people in your life, in your real life out there, we need you to come back.
Enter one dramatically timed Michael. Bit of a scuffle, and then boom, in the freezer. Also, I know it's all mental strength anyway, but once you're making a mental image of trapping him, you want to maybe secure that door with more than an ice pick? Like, that looks like the lock I have on my inner demons. Maybe conjure yourself an industrial padlock for your archangel problem, is all I'm saying. Later, when Dean went on his farewell tour to go throw himself into the sea, he purposefully left out Sam, Jack, and Cass because they were too difficult. Sam points out Dean hasn't told them. Of course, Sam already told Cass, and Cass is running through scenario after scenario to try to fix the problem. Cass is relieved to hear from Dean because he figures it means that Sam succeeded in stopping him, but alas.
Dean, it's so good to hear from you.
Oh, okay. Well, good. Listen, Cass, Sam and I are working this case.
You're working a case. That is so good to hear. So I assume that means you're not going through with it, because I have to say, Dean, this plan of yours, it was born of desperation, not reason.
My plan?
I know that I'm not supposed to know what I know, but...
Look, I'm fine with my plan, okay? We can talk about my plan later.
Dean, you are making a terrible mistake.
Does the name Tony Alvarez mean anything to you?
Yes.
Say more.
Antonio Alvarez is next in line to be prophet when Donatello dies.
Okay, thanks, Cass.
Wait, Dean. We need to have a conversation.
Look, I really gotta handle this right now, okay? So, thank you, and, it's good to hear your voice.
Dean?
Castiel meets them in disguise. His doctor garb manages to get just a little bit of a smile out of Dean in spite of everything looming over their heads. On my part, I'm just cringing because Cass just casually walking around with his stethoscope hanging off of his neck for some fucking reason, but then I feel that's sort of on-brand Cass, so... Dean flips Castiel's speech on doing what he had to do around, and Cass is properly miffed that he tries to make the comparison.
So, Doctor, checking out an old Uncle Donnie, huh?
Hey, Dean, what happened to him? That was my fault. It was necessary, but doesn't mean I don't regret it. It doesn't mean that I don't wish that there could have been another way.
I know the feeling.
Oh, no. No, please don't compare this with your suicidal plan. Just stop.
Okay, all right. Why don't we talk about that later?
Because, according to your plan, there won't be a later.
Cass, if you were a friend of mine, then you will understand that I have to do this, and you won't try to stop me. You think this is easy on me? It has to be done.
So then, this is goodbye?
Fine.
Well, then I can fix him.
Wait, I thought he was too far gone.
Dean, if there's a spark, a hope, then I have to try. You taught me that.
Wait, that is not how you do that. Whatever. But Dean does allow Sam to convince him to stay his pseudo-execution for the time being. We know how I feel about Lebanon. In the context of Destiel, it's a bit more complicated. If this had been a longer episode or a several episode arc, I would have liked to explore Cass's reaction to John Winchester and the other way around. Because I 10,000% guarantee they would not get along. Cass is fiercely protective of Dean and even of Sam, and John was a focal point of their trauma that he is aware haunts them to this day. I mean, man, John warranted a mention in Cass's "You're not a killer, I love you" speech. So it would have been interesting to see them meet. Double so if they had pulled the trigger on Destiel last season. Wouldn't that have been a trip? I do agree they need to keep Cass and Jack out of it just because that would have been an extra whole thing and there was already a lot. Not to mention having a condensed family helped lead the path to closure. Again, yada yada. It was interesting to explore and see a Castiel who was still obedient to heaven and never rebelled for Dean. Cass's expressions betray a confusion as to why Dean thinks he can get through to him and why he keeps referring to him as Cass and claiming he knows them. Dean, meanwhile, is struggling to reconcile this version of Cass who doesn't know them. This is a less fixable Lucifer's Crypt situation. I am glad they didn't have to, fucking kill him, because that is some trauma Dean does not deserve on top of the huge heaping pile of trauma he just got dosed with anyway. Also, wait. Hold up. Quick sidebar. On this wanted poster, credit card fraud? They felt it necessary to list, "Man, this Dean Winchester fellow sure does behead a fuck ton of people and desecrate graves. Gotta put out some wanted posters." Oh yeah, what do you want me to mention on them? His top 3 offenses: assault, murder, credit card fraud. Credit card fraud? The FBI takes attacks on our capitalist society very seriously. Jesus, beside the point. Episode 14 is a shit show. Not in execution. I like this episode a lot, just in terms of everything going wrong. Not that most seasons aren't just a pile of everything going wrong, but this season really, really feels like a season of everything going wrong, and maybe that's just me. Anyway, Dean and Cass actually get to talk.
Hey, Dean.
I'm fine.
What you're doing, and even just sitting here and having a cup of coffee is a Herculean feat. I can't imagine the willpower it's taking to keep Michael imprisoned.
Dean and Cass only get to sit down in diners when Dean is on his last legs fighting against some unspeakable evil force and he needs to beg Cass to kill him, which is frankly criminal. When Cass asks Dean if he's alright, in an absolute change from the norm, Dean doesn't lie or deflect. He trusts Cass enough at this point, and he just opens up and talks to him.
Are you really fine?
I don't know, Cass. But that's what I'm supposed to say, right? I'm fine. Keep on moving. That's what we all say.
No, Dean.
Okay. There's this pounding in my head. It never stops. Michael's in there, and he is fighting hard to get out. And I can't let my guard down. Not for a second. I'm barely even sleeping.
Well, that's not sustainable.
No, it's probably not. But no point in complaining about it. It's on me.
No, it's on us. We are here to help you.
I know that. And I appreciate that. I do. Look, before the kid gets back, I know I agreed to give you guys time.
Hey, Dean, and we will find a solution.
Okay, but if you don't, we still have plan B.
Dean, come on.
Coffin, ocean, done.
Okay, so we've made some progress.
This is like an AV Club presentation.
What's an AV club?
It's a special group for people who do not play sports.
Him, he's AV Club.
Excuse me, boys.
And then, things continue their downwards trajectory. Throw in a good old dash of head trauma. Cass tries again to heal him in the bunker with a slight note of panic.
Yes, do it.
Well, I still can't heal him. I can't even see what's going on inside his head.
And then Cass tries to comfort Jack about Dean and assure him that it's going to be okay. It's not.
I hate seeing him like that. But he's gonna be okay, right? I mean, it's Dean. It was a fight. It was just a fight.
Every time we go out, there's always a risk.
I can't think about losing him or Sam or you. I hate thinking about it.
Yeah, so do I. But Jack, Sam and Dean, they're human. And they're very extraordinary, brave, special humans, but they're still humans, and humans burn bright, but for a very brief time compared to, things like us. And eventually, they're gone, even the very best ones, and we have to carry on. It's part of growing up.
Losing people.
Yes.
What's the point?
The point?
What's the point of being a cosmic being if everyone I care about is just gonna leave?
The point is that they were here at all, and you got to know them. When they're gone, it will hurt. But that hurt will remind you of how much you loved them.
That sounds awful.
It is, but it's also living. So when Dean wakes up, and he will wake up, we just have to remember to appreciate the time that we all have together now.
And then, things get even worse because it's this show. Following Jack burning through the majority or all of his soul, everyone's just a touch worried. Cass tries to convince Dean to try to connect with Jack in another sort of worried parent conversation.
Thought you were gonna sleep until the cows dragged you home.
That's not good. Never mind. I was putting some gear away and Rowena called.
How is she?
Not great. She's coping, but, at least she's not dead. How's the kid?
Well, he says he's good, but what about Sam?
He says he's good. I think they're both full of crap.
Hey, found us a case. Arkansas.
We've just done 3 back-to-back hunts. I need some rest, at least a night. We both do.
Yeah, well, I'm leaving at 10.
Like I said, not good.
Maybe I should go with him. You can stay with Jack.
Why?
You were right. Jack is struggling. And I've tried,
Why do
but
you think he'll talk to me?
because he looks up to you. And his soul, I mean, you've seen this before.
No. See, I was not great with Sam. You know, when he was,
Yeah, but Jack's soul isn't completely gone. At least I don't think so. We just don't know how much is left.
Well, how am I supposed to figure that out?
I don't know. Just talk to him, get him to open up. And then sleep until the cows come home. That's the saying.
Cass then leaves to go try and find a solution for Jack when he gets scared by him killing the snake, which is kind of fair since the kid knows the internet exists and should be able to find out that a corn snake can go literal months without eating and be fine, and since he has no heat on this enclosure, of course the damn snake isn't going to eat, especially dragging it all over creation, giving it no water or bedding or any place to hide, but I digress. Dean isn't too worried when Cass leaves. Progressively over the seasons, he gets more and more sort of chill when Cass leaves the bunker, less suspicious and more sure that Cass is fine and will return.
All right. Well, let's hit it.
You gotta hook up Cass.
He actually left
What?
early this morning.
Why?
I don't know, something about being cooped up in the bunker for a few weeks. We all need to stretch our legs. I get it.
Which shows real trust and growth. Of course, frankly, most times Cass is leaving the bunker. It is something shady he should have told Dean about, but like last time when Cass left to go try to murder Kelly Klein, Dean doesn't doubt him. After that, things don't start going any better. Cass's decision to try to reach out to God on his own without even telling them is not something Dean takes well.
Hey, Cass.
I got your message. Nick was trying to raise Lucifer?
Yeah.
Where is he now?
I don't, the kid said he took care of him. So right now we're just trying to find Jack and Mom.
Are they together?
Yeah.
Alone?
Yeah, what do you... Yes, Cass, they were together, alone.
What's he saying?
Cass? If you have something to tell us, now's the time.
I saw Jack. He did something when I got home with Sam. I went to check on him, and Felix was sick.
Felix? You mean the snake?
Yes. Jack used his powers. He killed the snake. I think Jack considered it a mercy. I was going to tell you, but
You just wanted to wait until we were already freaked out.
I'm sorry. I don't think Jack is well, Dean. Dean.
He trusted Cass was just out and everything was fine, but instead Cass knew something was off and didn't say anything and bailed on a solo mission. Castiel flips through memories of hunting with Mary. I like how he reached out to her, giving voice to the fact that Sam and Dean were happy for having her back, and her reply that they were never alone.
I know you know this, Mary, but Sam and Dean, they're glad to have you back. Whatever you still have to deal with, and however long it takes, you should know they're happy. And finally, they don't have to be so alone.
Castiel. They were never alone.
Inside, Dean is already mad at Cass for not telling him. Well, more accurately, Dean is absolutely fucking terrified that something happened to his mom and not yet discounting being afraid for Jack, and Dean's brain's way of protecting him from literally shutting down with fear and after they find out what happened to Grief, is to pull up a comforting anger. Right now, it's directed at Cass.
Might have been Lucifer. Nick was trying to bring him back.
Yeah, but Jack said...
Who cares what Jack said? We don't know what happened. But I swear, if he did something to her, if she is... then you're dead to me.
Dean.
No, he knew. He knew something was wrong with the kid. He knew it, and he didn't tell us. He didn't even tell us.
I was scared. I believed in Jack for so long. I believed that it was good. I knew that he would be good for the world, and he was good for us. My faith in him, it never wavered, and then I saw what he did. It wasn't malice, it wasn't evil. It was like Jack saw a problem, and in his mind, he just solved it with that snake.
The snake?
What he did wasn't bad. It was the absence of good, and I saw that in him. But we were a family, and I didn't want to lose that. So I thought I could fix it on my own. Felt like it was my responsibility. So I left. And I didn't tell you. If I could go back and just talk to him right then and there, I would. But I can't, Dean. I failed you. And I failed Jack. And I failed...
No, don't even say it. Don't even say her name.
Cass stresses his love for Jack. He stresses that he thought Jack was good for them, and he stresses that he got scared and tried to fix it because the four of them were a family and he didn't want to lose that family. Cass is so sorry, but Dean isn't in a place that he can hear that yet. Sam understands and tries to run interference between Dean and Cass as he sees Dean losing his control. Dean's anger following the death of loved ones is inevitable. He was angry when John died. He took his rage out on Jack after Cass was gone. Now he's mad about this. He admits with Sam that it's on all of their heads that they weren't more careful with Jack following his soul. He is mad, and he's mad at Cass, but you know he's not actually mad at Cass, because if he was, Cass wouldn't be there. Dean could easily tell Cass to just fuck right off, and he didn't. He's withdrawing into himself, but Cass is allowed to be there. Cass, for his part, wants to go to Dean and make amends and comfort him, but Cass stays. Through the funeral and all that, Cass is still right at Dean's side through this shit, and he is worried about Dean. Dean doesn't push him away. He doesn't warm to him yet, but he doesn't push him away. This reaction... This literal breakdown is only mirrored one time, and it's when Cass belly flops into the empty. The three of them more or less stick together after this point, save for a couple of trips to heaven on Cass's part. When Duma threatens Sam and Dean's mother and father, he just straight murks her with no hesitation, which was so very, very satisfying.
You really want this fight, Duma?
Fight. I'm holding the high cards here. Ma and Pa Winchester, they're living in their own personal heaven. One snap of these fingers and all of that ends.
Short-lived satisfaction, of course. Cass is furious with the news that they locked up Jack, and before they manage to resolve this fight that they're having, Jack is, loose again. They sort of hit a bit of a breaking point then. Dean is angry enough that he wants Jack dead, and he isn't afraid to say it, and Cass can't accept just giving up on their family, thus they part ways until Cass finds Chuck, and then after they get the soul murder pistol, they part ways again. And I mean, things are tense. Not particularly for or against Destiel. Cass is just clearly upset to see Dean arrive there, mostly because he loves his son and he loves Dean, and to see Dean kill both of them in this way is probably more or less the worst thing he can imagine. I forget sometimes, after being jerked around for so many years with the show, I forget, rewatching it, that canonically, even if you don't know what's going on in Dean's mind, canonically, Cass is in love with Dean at this point, and it starts making this whole arc more tragic than the tragedy it already was. And then yelling more or less unarmed in the face of God also goes about as good as you might imagine it would. So yeah. The season is all over the map. In terms of these two fuckers, it's set up. It's set up for everything in season 15. It was nice to see them settle in, the whole group, even as a family, Cass, Dean, and Sam playing the role of Jack's fathers. It's my favorite dynamic in the whole show, frankly, so I'm pretty happy with that. Next week, we'll be diving into season 15, or rather, the first 17 episodes of season 15. I'm going to do episodes 18 to 20 on their own. Should be fun. Now, here is a request. You guys know I'm so absolutely barely on Twitter, and not at all on Tumblr. I have not watched a lot of convention footage, and I have only in passing stumbled across actors talking about the confession and such, so I don't really know the tea. If you guys have info on things that you think might be relevant to how Despair was written, shot, or acted, etc., I would love it if you'd email it to me, preferably with links to the material. I mean, obviously, I'll do some Googling, but I want to know what you guys know, and I'll combine it with the things that I know, and we'll see if we can't shed the right amount of light on all of these moments. And feel free to email me about anything else also. I also ask that you check out my Ko-fi account. I'm using funds currently to offset the materials cost for an FX makeup build I just started filming for you guys. I'm excited to show you guys that. And if you're standing here having watched the entire series of mine so far and you are not subscribed, do it. I triple dog dare you. See y'all next week.